For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. Sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
What is the status of the Women's Support Center? You'll be hearing from a former Gender Affairs Minister as well as the current holder of that portfolio. All that and more between now and at 2 o'clock this afternoon on the world's most monitored talk show, NewsSpin, on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. We'll be entertaining your calls at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages at 716-2026, and Amanda will be going through some of your comments in the chat room. Happy Friday to you. I was hoping that you'll have yourself an enjoyable weekend, and of course you will have a great time as well and enjoy life in a very safe environment. Talking about safe environment. The Women's Support Center. A lot was said when it opened its doors, as you heard from former Gender Affairs Minister Sir Phil Bobra some 24 years ago. Talk about St. Lucia, according to former Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony, displaying enormous potential. St. Lucia, according to the former Prime Minister, St. Lucia has enormous potential. So when you tell me that you had a women's support center, shelter for women, opened some 24 years ago, and now we are discovering that its doors has been closed over the last few years. Is that progress? Are you exhibiting signs of having potential when you regress in that kind of manner? And the Women's Affairs Minister, as you will hear from her a little bit later, addresses the closure in a kind of haphazard manner, I don't care-ish kind of manner, matter-of-fact manner. very nonchalant, no big deal that center currently closed. And she says counseling is being provided to women, battered women. Counseling is being provided to them virtually and otherwise. Does that really make sense? You will hear from her in just a moment. But first, let us hear from former Gender Affairs Minister Sarah Flood-Barbara, a contribution she made earlier this week on this broadcast, lamenting the manner in which Dr. Virginia Albert Poyot has been addressing or not addressing issues relating to women, particularly in the last few days, 2 women being killed in tragic circumstances.
Virginia Albert says, and she's speaking on the murder of Alana Bernard and Jolie Williams, when she finally found her voice. She's saying, and I'm quoting her, "It is alleged that there were some threats, and the victims were aware of the threats. But what apparently happened is that they did not know where to turn. They were not aware of who could have been of support to them. And in the absence of that information, they must have kept it to themselves, and they thought all would be safe." And then she goes on to say, "My position is that we need to take action. It is not just making a statement, but it is to take action. And the action is that we need to ensure that we put mechanisms in place to protect all women and men in St. Lucia." Timothy, do you know Virginia Albert had the gall to make this statement? And even as she's saying, the women did not know where to turn. You know, she has a shelter closed for almost 2 years. Timothy, do you know that?
Yes.
The shelter that is supposed to protect these women, Virginia Albert has it closed for 2 years. And she's saying that the women were not aware of who could have been a support to them. Right? And they did not know where to turn. When the very place they have to turn, you have the doors closed. Timothy, do I speak
But
angry?
she also said during that interview that the center is not controlled by the government or is run by the government. It's a statutory.
It's not run by the government.
What she said
Who
is
is running it?
It's a statutory corporation. Now, I mean, Wasco.
Since when? It is not.
Wasco is a statutory
It is not.
corporation, but it's owned by the government. And also,
Timothy.
the information I'm receiving as well, if it is a statutory corporation, how do you pay the staff? I mean, is it coming from
Where
the
is the
coffers of the
act that
government?
created it?
Yeah.
If it is a statutory corporation, there's an act that created it. Where's the act? Timothy, Virginia Albert has to be brought up for this. Virginia Albert, we have to find her, put her in a chair and make her sit down and answer questions. Because we are talking about women who have lost their lives. Timothy, do you know Jolie Williams? When I read the press release, it said that Jolie Williams was killed when she was at a guest house, right?
Yeah.
The press release from St. Lucia Times, February 21, says she was at a guest house with another female friend. And that is where she was killed. And the second victim was seriously injured, another woman. You know what I understand, Timothy? Those women were at that guest house hiding away from the perpetrator. They should have been at the shelter. Right? Because when we established that shelter in 2001, on September 27th, 2001, when we established that shelter, I was the minister in office at the time. Okay, Timothy? 2001, what? Is it 24 years ago?
Yes.
That shelter established and we put it in place. That shelter has been run when it was being run, when we established it, Everything was in place. We had transportation to pick up the women. It is still in a secure location that you cannot access. These women had no right being at a guest house while a man was on the road looking for them. Timothy, I sound angry. I apologize for that. But I am not accepting Virginia Albert's empty words, empty promises. I'm not accepting it. I am not accepting it. She has to come again. You see, Virginia Albert, she was happy to say that she passed a new Domestic Violence Act, right? That very act that the government passed, that she was happy to talk about. And I commended her when she stood in Parliament and speak about it. That act empowers her to provide services, including immediate transportation from the victim's residence to a medical center or shelter or other place for the victim. When you strengthen the law, when you are encouraging a woman to stand up to protect herself, you must also strengthen the safety net so that when she speaks up for herself, she's not in more danger. Virginia Albert, open the shelter.
So what is the status of that shelter? You'll be hearing from the minister in just a moment. But again, you just heard the former Gender Affairs Minister, Seraford Bober, her contribution to NewsSpin earlier on this week. And over now to Dr. Poyot regarding the status of this shelter for battered women.
They are still receiving the counseling because when I spoke to the director, they still get in touch with the victims. They give them the proper guidance. And based on, we have just completed a review of the Women's Support Center to determine the status of that entity, because many people thought it was a government agency, whereas government gives support to help the agency function, but it is not a government entity. So it is supposed to be run by a statutory board, and then they actually manage the entity by itself. So now we are going to table this report in cabinet, and government will take a position as to what is the status of this entity. But right now, they are actually engaging persons virtually in terms of giving them the assistance, and we are getting ready to do the necessary renovation, establish the status of the entity so that it can get back functioning.
Assisting people virtually in terms of the assistance. You heard there from the Highlands Gender Affairs Minister, Dr. Virginia Albert Poyot. So just moments ago before we came on the air, got a voice note from Seraford Bober reacting to that statement again, which was made earlier this week during the pre-cabinet press briefing.
Timothy, I listened to the Minister for Gender Affairs. When she was asked about the shelter being closed, I listened to her explanation. And it seems to me that the shelter is in limbo based on what she said, that according to her, it's not a government agency, that it's a statutory agency, and that there is a review that has been done to determine its status, and she's waiting for this to be tabled to cabinet. This is no excuse for the shelter to remain closed. It seems from what she says that the shelter is in limbo. And while the government is deciding how to move forward with the shelter remains closed. Victims cannot access the shelter, but they are receiving counseling. You do not need a shelter to provide counseling. A shelter is there for the purpose of providing shelter, meaning that the women who are fleeing from violence, from people who want to kill them, need a safe place to stay physically. You can provide counseling from anywhere. The reason why we established the shelter almost 25 years ago so that it can provide physical safety. So the minister does not have to wait until she brings a report to cabinet to determine the status of the shelter to have the doors open. And she's incorrect. The shelter is not a statutory corporation or a statutory agency. There has never been an act of parliament that creates the shelter as a statutory agency. The minister is responsible for the shelter, and she has not accepted that responsibility. Even though it was a statutory agency, the statute, the act that created it, would name a minister who would be responsible for it. And most likely it would be the Minister for Gender Affairs, who is her. It is under her ministry in the estimates of expenditure that funding comes from for the shelter. We are in a crisis situation, and she needs to open the doors of the shelter. She is the one person in St. Lucia who can cause the door of the shelter to be opened. We do not need to wait for any review, for any report to be tabled in cabinet. All while this is going on, women are being killed and they need to access the shelter. The minister needs to accept responsibility. She needs to recognize the shelter comes under her ministry, and whether or not she has plans in the future to transform it into something else, such as a statutory agency. For the moment, the doors of the shelter are closed, women are being murdered on the streets, and she needs to open the doors of the shelter right away. I heard the minister talk about all the plans she's going to have to celebrate International Women's Day, a documentary she's going to have, a big celebration. We cannot be having big celebrations right now. We're in a crisis. Women are dying, and they cannot access the one place in St. Lucia that can provide them the safety that they need. The minister needs to stop playing games and open the shelter.
You just heard there from former Gender Affairs Minister Sarah Falbobra, former MP for Castries Central as well. She sent me that voice note earlier today. Will the Gender Affairs Minister, Dr. Virginia Albert Poyot, open the center? That is the question. We will find out in time to come. Let's open the lines at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. And of course, Amanda is monitoring the chat room, and let me turn my attention to her. But before that, I just saw something interesting in the chat room. Somebody's asking me a question. Tim, did you get RF lawsuit documents as yet? I am not expecting any such document from anyone, far less a politician. As they say, I did not put any cocoa out, so I'm not looking out for any kind of rain. And I know that you've been monitoring NewsSpin. Are you monitoring Newsmaker Live and so on? I don't know if I said anything about the Castries Central MP or the government minister in the office of the Prime Minister that one can consider to be defamatory. What's up in the chat room, Amanda?
A comment. Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, NewsSpinners. A comment here reads, some politicians are like turtles, remaining in the comforts and protection of their shell, only to pop their head out when pressure is applied. Another comment, Tim, it is run by the government because when they issued letters to the workers, it said the government of St. Lucia. Miss Wig is not speaking the truth. Another comment reads, a reactive government, always in the process or about doing something whenever a problem arises. Someone says they're assisting persons virtually, not good at all, Madam Poyot. Another comment reads, FLP and all its ministers are just a waste of time, money, and consuming all our breathing air. Another comment here reads, what I love about Sarah Flood is her monitoring and tracking of facilities for the marginalized in our country. This is an important part of interventions and support for vulnerable groups in our country. It is not only about drafting policies. Policies need enforcement and implementation.
We have our first call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller. How are you?
It's your friendly neighborhood atheist, Tim. I'm okay, brother. Good afternoon, Amanda.
Good afternoon, caller.
How is Canada? Is Canada still operating on its own? It's now a state of the U.S.
Oh no, we haven't given in to the orange ambassador yet, Tim.
Okay. All right, sir. Go ahead with
but
your
the weather
contribution.
is the weather is no good. It's it's crappy outside. Lots of snow, so the roads are really slippery.
Our weather in St. Lucia.
Anyway,
we have great weather in St. Lucia. Go ahead, sir.
I know. I envy you guys. I envy you guys in that regard. Big up, Mr. Rigobert. Anywhere you stand up, lay down, or sit down in the world, sir, I want to let you know, just like Mr. Rick Wayne, I see you as an institution, and I regard you as the St. Lucian Socrates. Okay? I know people might think philosophy is dead, but Mr. Rigobert, big up yourself, sir. Anyways, Tim, allow me 5 minutes to make my contribution. I think yesterday I had an opportunity to chime in on is it Joshua? What's his last name?
Harrow?
He's a young man. Harrow, yeah.
Yeah, he's an opposition senator now.
Yes, in the upper house. In regards to marijuana and morals and values and so on and so forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, as a supporter of the UWP, Tim, I would like to let Mr. Harrow know that we do not live in a theocracy. Okay? And this is not places like Afghanistan and Saudi Arabia where they are governed by religious law. Now, that is a problem with religion being within our politics. You cannot make laws based on your moral principles. Morals are highly subjective, Tim. What might be moral to you may be different to somebody else.
Agreed.
Take, for instance, in Islamic countries, cutting off the labias or the clitoris of little girls is highly acceptable, and it is seen as something that is highly moral. If you were to go to a St. Lucian or anyone who lives in the West and say to them, hey, you should circumcise your little girl so she has no sexual pleasure or sexual feeling, they would look at you as if like you're crazy. And you would be crazy for suggesting such a thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'd like Mr. Harrow to revisit his stance on marijuana, even though he might not find the use of marijuana to be moral. He should get his morality out of politics and out of lawmaking. Okay? The second thing I want to address him is that we live in a state where, like the Banana Republic, as I always call it, Tim. I have been trying to call you on Richard Frederick made some pronouncements on his show with regards to Dominic Fede. Tim, in any decently run country, Richard Frederick would have already been out on his all-powerful ass when he made regards to people with autism and so on and so forth. He would never in his life be in the country where I live and make these statements, whether he made it in private or on TV. And survive another political.
You don't even have to go so far. Not to Canada, the U.S. Just Barbados, Trinidad, Jamaica, Guyana. I could think of those countries. But definitely you are correct. In Canada, a stance would have been taken.
Tim, and if his party would not get rid of him, Tim, the parents of people who suffer from such disabilities, Tim, would have made it their duty, Tim. Their duty to march down to City Hall or go to Ottawa or wherever it is they have to go to sit with that he never, ever, ever, ever serves in politics again for the balance of his natural life, Tim. What a disgusting thing for someone to say, Tim. You understand what I mean? And it's nothing, I don't know Richard Frederick and I don't even care to know him. But for you to come out and say that, Tim, it also speaks, Tim, of our, that's just a microcosm of our broader society, Tim. That's just to show you how our society in general thinks, Tim. And I always like to use myself and my community as an example, Tim. Just allow me to tell you something, Tim. When I was growing up, and people from Peru, before enough, will call and they can call and tell the Demartini, as we Lucians like to say. There was this autistic boy named by the name of Tinol Tim.
What's the name?
And Tinol.
Tinol.
Yes. And when we were going to Peru Combined School, Tim, we did not know any better, Tim. We would hit him and we would treat him in the most awful ways, Tim. And not once, Tim, did an adult come forward and say to us, hey, this man, even though he may be in his 40s, has the mentality of a 5-year-old child. That's why he's standing outside of our classrooms and singing along and clapping along to the songs that we're singing as children. And we picked on him, Tim. And we picked on him, Tim. And no one, Tim, outside of his mother, Tim, ever spoke out, you know, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Tim, that does burn me to these days when I get to be a big man, Tim, and I realize how disgusting our behavior was, Tim. And up to date, Tim, St. Lucian people treat people with intellectual disabilities as the other, Tim. They look down on them. They make fun of them. They like disregard these people as if these people have no value in society. And Tim, so what Richard doing at him is not something that he is unique to him. That's the broader St. Lucian society to you, Tim. Whenever they find somebody intellectually inferior, they will call them Dek, Gogo, Abubu, and then they treat them like the other, Tim. And unless there is a paradigm shift in our country, within the people, Tim, in the way we look at people, Tim, who may be vulnerable, Tim, our country will never go forward.
In the meantime, caller, we have a Helen Association for persons with autism. Not a word. We have an Autism Society of St. Lucia. Not a word.
Tim, I'm telling you, it's because it's the sentiments of the general population, Tim. That's how majority of St. Lucians think, Tim. Tim, when people have children with disabilities, look at how they treat them. Look at how these people are usually walking around and how they're dressed, Tim. They dress the people as if like, it's like, oh yeah, you know what, because that person autistic, I just go throw anything on that person. They treat them as if like, they're subhuman, Tim. They treat them as if they're subhuman, Tim. And it's disgusting, Tim. Even when I was back home in December, Tim, I could see, Tim, there's several people with mental disabilities in my community. I made it my duty to make sure I brought them socks and underwear and a t-shirt here and there, and who I know who their parents already passed, and so on and so forth, Tim. Even when they came to my yard, the way the people in the yard would talk to them, Tim, and I have to get myself in arguments with people and start swearing at them and their mother and tell them, hey, you don't talk to that person like that, because that person doesn't have the understanding that you have. You have to talk to that person as if you're talking to a little child and break things down to that person. You understand what I mean, Tim?
Absolutely.
Tim, it's just disgusting, Tim. It's just disgusting. And I just wish people would take their time and realize that, hey, we have to treat these people as people and stop othering them. Anyway, Sid, have a good afternoon.
You too, sir.
I'll keep listening off it.
All right.
Bye, Amanda. Have yourselves a nice weekend.
Goodbye,
you
caller.
too. Thank you so much for calling, sir, all the way from Canada. 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Amanda, turn my attention again to you and the chat room.
A few comments reads, yes, my sister, tell her shake my head. While the grass is growing, the horses are starving. Wham within this upside-down government policy. Another comment, based on Miss Albert's statement, it seems that we can provide counseling to those in prison without putting them in prison in order to protect citizens from them. So we're provided counseling to those women who need physical protection from the system. The comment reads, the man asked for 5 minutes like you think you have Rick Wayne privilege.
We have a call. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Yes, good afternoon, Tim.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
To you and to your
Amanda.
co-host.
Amanda.
Amanda. Hope she's doing well. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Tim, in reference to calling people names, I remember, like your previous caller, I remember going to school and, taking advantage I did not know better. And the years after, Tim, I've had to apologize to myself and to the family of that individual because I really did not know better. But the good Lord had it also that I had a sister who had Down syndrome. And Tim, she has since gone to meet the Lord. That girl was one of the most loving child that I've ever come across. Tim, we do not know how persons are born or things like that. And for people to be taking advantage of discrediting people, Tim, this is very shameful. I think we are in a civilized society. And when you hear things like that from learned people, it begs the question how intelligent some of us are.
But you really believe in a civilized society, Connor? I have my doubts about that,
Well,
we don't behave that way.
To try to believe that. I'm really trying to, Tim. Because at the end of it all, Tim, we cannot be in positions of governance. We cannot be in positions of knowing better. And we treating people as though they are nothing. Timothy, some of us really have pushed that button to the point where I am now starting to give up on the civilized society and people who ought to know better in government, in civil society, and all of the above. Because these things are going right under our eye, and nobody's speaking out. Nobody's taking the lead and say, hey, enough is enough. Stop that nonsense, or we will do something about it. You understand me? Everybody has taken more pills. Wow. Anyway, Tim, I hope.
You too, sir. Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979. Once again, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. And let me see if I have any of your WhatsApp messages to go through. Somebody says there via WhatsApp. Pleasant afternoon, Tim. I heard on Rev this morning that Richard Frederick is suing you, Alan Chasney, and DBS. Are you aware of this? Okay, usual tactics. Well, I've not heard about this at all. Let's take another call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Mr. Tim.
Yes, caller. Good afternoon to you.
How are you? You're right, man. And how's your day?
I am okay. How about you?
Okay. Everything fine, man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I wanted to make a reference as to what Kenny Anthony said and the way he spoke and he expressed himself. To me, I find that was one of the biggest insults in the country, man. And you know why I'm saying that? When Kenny came there in that last tenure there and he saw little petty mistakes that Pierre was doing, if you were the PM, and you spent 3 terms as PM because Kenny became PM in 1997 to 2001. From 2001, and then he lost again. And then he won. And then Chasney won. If you had so much capacity, Tim, and you had so much head power, all right, let's break it down like that. Tim, you cannot speak patois. I'm the manager of DBS Studio. But you are doing so much of a good job in employing, bringing the people together, making the people see a thing. If there is certain times that I'm in that studio and it's me and you alone, I cannot call you aside and start showing you 1 or 2 things that you'll have that powerful mind one day that you'll be able to express patois or speak it out to the whole nation.
Yeah.
In the same way you talked about this autism children. Man, they have a lot of these autism children who have a lot of bright talent, But sometimes these children are just brought into a family that is malfortunate and thing. But we're going back to Kenny. And it makes it look like that. When you said that, you spoke like that. Where was the advice that you was giving Pierre now? When little petty mistakes was happening? That is me. I'm a PM. I've already have that vast amount of experience. Now is myself to start push to shove. And even though I say what I say, and the people are not in favor or in favor, I have the right to call on to him and caution him. If that is not true, Mr. Tim.
You are correct, caller.
Yeah, if there is no thing, I have the right to caution. Now, I'll give you an example, Tim. There was a Liberty station, and last week they had some things about prayer, this week there. So I openly said, call no man father except him, because he's a jealous God. I only said that I am 100% Catholic, but there are certain things that the religion do that I won't put into my mind, but I will never change my thing. I can go and visit other religions. You know what some people call and say? Because my mother was a past teacher or headmistress, they left religion. That is Edmund, my friend. They end up leaving religion to say, my mother was a principal and she prevented money from having a lay on her school. Where did that have to come in? You are only speaking religion, and the same lay on her school that they say my mother prevented from building in Monripo. Monripo then had a school, and it was on the church property. From there, they shifted that lay on her school to Passiers. But it shows you the mental of our people, the way we're thinking, because before anything I cannot get to you, Tim, I have to get to your parents. I have to get to you. I have to get. But Tim, look at you, for example. Look at how many jokes they gave you already as a short little man. And look at the amount of talent you have. Mr. Shim, goodbye, good day, and have a good time. But you see what nonsense Kenny did there? He did worse than somebody who has that same program that we're talking about. He did worse because you knew and you were there. And you never acted or you never shown. Now when you're about leaving, now you put in that kind of mediocrity and stupidness in people's head. The same way like Richards. He say gonna take you to task. But Richards can take everybody to task. Richards did not take Sentusha to task over 2 cars that they seized of him and he made the country pay how much money?
Okay, caller. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's end on that note. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. It is called NewsSpin. Still to come, some of your calls, your WhatsApp messages. You'll be hearing from the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Mr. Claudius Francis. You'll be hearing from the Leader of the Opposition, and we'll be revisiting a problem which continues to affect most road users in St. Lucia. Peter and Company Auto now opens on Saturdays. Starting Saturday, March the 1st, Peter and Company Auto Nissan dealership will be open from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Vehicle sales and vehicle parts departments will be opened for your convenience. All Saturday customers will enjoy an additional 15% off vehicle parts. Located at Vidbouteille and ready to serve. Call 458-6950. That's 458-6950.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbouteille at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Moves like it's transforming how you move. With our new electric vehicle charging stations, getting a quick and reliable charge is easier than ever. From Rodney Bay to Dennery, Vieux-Fort and Soufriere, we've got you covered. Our cutting-edge network offers both fast and standard charging options. Convenient, efficient, and always ready when you are. Just download the Flash Charge app app from Google Play or the Apple App Store, and with a few simple taps, you can set up an account and link it to a credit card, find a station, or scan the QR code to start charging in seconds. Lucidec is powering your journey and driving us toward a cleaner, greener future. Charge ahead with Lucidec's EV stations. Lucidec electric vehicle chargers, powering progress, energizing the future.
Taco Thursdays at Senior Snapper from Thursday, 13th February 2025 and every Thursday.
St. Lucia, your Thursdays just got a whole lot better. After work, there's only one place to be. Taco Thursdays at Senor Snapper Seafood Grill and Margarita Bar.
In Grizzly Town, that is Marie Therese Street.
Live DJ, fresh tacos, and island vibes. What more do you need? Tacos for just $10 plus 2-for-1 margaritas and mojitos to keep the good times flowing.
Thursdays is Taco Thursdays at Senor Snapper.
And you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay. Flow is keeping you connected.
Are you tired of going from doctor to doctor, spending time and money, yet still not getting the answers you need? Now, at La Clinique du Corps Diagnostic Center of Excellence, we bring you the latest in medical technology, our state-of-the-art radiation-free full-body MRI. With unmatched accuracy, we can detect illnesses early, giving you the answers you deserve and the treatment you need, saving lives and saving money. No doctor referral needed. Results in just 24 to 48 hours. Plus, a free consultation with a doctor to explain all your results in detail. Don't wait. Take advantage of this special offer and book your full body MRI at our Cocoville, Rodney Bay, or Castries locations. Call 451-6559 now. La Clinique du Corps. Your health is our priority.
Essie, don't tell me that tire flat again. I just changed that tire.
Wait, what? You just changed that tire?
Well, I bought a used one because you didn't give me enough money.
Oh, I see. Well, you know what? Chivi's Tire Shop only carry brand new quality tires at affordable prices with free installation.
Hey, it seems you're working at Chivi's Tire Shop. How you know all that?
Come on, Brenda. The tire shop down the road from our home in the American Drywall Building.
Oh, yes. I forgot. Well, you know what, Patrick? Let's go there right now. Take your wallet. Let's go.
Chivi's Tire Shop, located at the American Drywall Building, Vic Butay. Call or WhatsApp 584-5986. Chivi's Tire Shop. Pay less, drive more.
St. Lucia, it's time to celebrate 46 years of independence with a big deal from KFC. Introducing the KFC Independence Big Box, packed with all your favorites for just $46. You get 5 delicious and-dipped wings with 1 sauce, 1 zinger or big crunch sandwich, 2 pieces of chicken, 2 regular fries, and 2 refreshing 16-ounce sodas. Perfect for sharing or keeping all to yourself, because independence is all about choice. But hurry, this big deal is only available from February 1st to February 28th. Get your Independence Big Box today, only at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Get ready for the all-in Independence Sale at MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt. Enjoy 25% off store-wide on small appliances, housewares, tools, and so much more. Plus, don't miss out on our amazing doorbuster deals from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's the perfect time to save on your favorite brands. But hurry, these deals won't last long. Visit us at MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt, island-wide from February 27th to March 2nd for the all-in Independence Sale event. Terms and conditions may apply. See online or in-store for more details.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. It is called NewsSpin. In a moment, we'll be hearing from the Speaker of the House. First, Peter & Company Auto is hosting a massive sale on Nissan vehicle parts on Saturday, March the 1st, 2025. Of course, that is tomorrow. And they are selling parts for, the sale starts, at 9 o'clock in the morning and ends at 1 p.m. Everything must go. Peter & Company, they're selling parts for Almeras, also X-Trails T30 and T31, Frontiers D21 and D22, also Navaras and Irvins, March, Tida, Pathfinder, Tiana, Sentra, Ring Road, and Sunnies. Call Peter & Company at 458-6950. That's 458-6950 for more information. And now, the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Claudius Francis, defends action taken against the leader of the opposition, Mr. Alan Shastney. We have a report which was aired and filed yesterday, aired on the DBS News World last evening. Here is Zane Romulus.
Speaker of the House Claudius Francis says he acted fairly on Tuesday when the debate on the Real Estate Agents and Brokers Bill descended into a heated exchange between him and the leader of the opposition, Alan Shastney. The dispute led to the Speaker cutting off the opposition leader's microphone after he refused to comply with parliamentary instructions. While some, including opposition United Workers' Party supporters, have argued that the Speaker's decision was politically biased, Francis disputes this claim. He noted that the conflict on Tuesday is part of a long history of disagreements between Shastney and House speakers.
It's not just the speakers, even the deputy speakers, and there was no deputy speaker under him. During Honorable Norbert's last sitting as the deputy speaker, I had occasion to come downstairs, so he sat. In those 5 minutes, Mr. Shastney clashed with him. On Tuesday, again I had occasion to come downstairs to fetch the documents which were at issue. In those 5 minutes, he clashed with Dr. Anthony. So, Leon Theodore, Andy Daniel several times, Claudius Francis, Kenny Anthony, Jeremiah Norwood. Surely, as they say, a million Frenchmen can't be wrong.
Francis says that he has remained impartial in his rulings and Tuesday's session was no exception.
At that same time, the leader of government business, the member for Castries South, raised a point of order saying in any event, the leader of the opposition should not be allowed to speak about the mall because it does not refer to the bill before us. I overruled the leader of government business on the ground that during his contribution, the member for Castries South East had raised the issue, and therefore it was fair for Mr. Shastney to respond to what the member for South East Castries had said. I never stopped him. But I was insistent he could not relitigate the point about the selling of the property. He then says, "You're not a judge."
Tuesday's exchange has garnered much public interest and debate with mixed views on who was wrong or right. The Speaker addressed criticism that he was overstepping his authority.
Even Mr. Wayne, who called his favorite program to talk about it, says, "I'm not a judge." Rick Wayne of all people should know what a judge is. He was a practicing bodybuilder, and no matter how well he thought he posed, what mattered was what the people who judged him thought. On the question of being a lawyer, Steve and Jerry, you two have been in the media longer than I have been alive. And you have consistently heard me say, I am not a lawyer. Do I know something about law? Absolutely. In my insurance exams, I passed 3 subjects of law: legal principles of law, contract law, and the law of tort. In fact, it was that knowledge that led me to be appointed as an arbitrator in a matter involving an insurance company and an individual which the insurance company refused to pay.
Francis says that his position as Speaker of the House of Assembly is not one he takes lightly, as he understands the significant authority granted by the standing orders.
And I'm the only Speaker on record writing to an Attorney General, asking the Attorney General to review the laws governing the power and role of a presiding officer, as I believe they are too broad. Only Speaker that has done that. The Attorney General says, Mr. Speaker, the rules are not written for an individual speaker.
Francis emphasized that he has exercised considerable discretion with the leader of the opposition. He has made it clear that he will no longer permit the House of Assembly to be disrespected by the leader of the opposition or any other member of Parliament.
These are not kindergarten people. These are grown-ups. And one has to give them the latitude of being grown-ups. But there comes a time when you have to stop, because otherwise the House will descend into chaos. And it is only at that point that I have stopped them. I've given them as much liberty as is possible without bringing the House into disrepute. Those of you who watch the Parliament will see I have consistently ruled against objections made by the government as well as the opposition several times. And that is what I'm going to continue to do, because I'm not the Speaker of the St. Lucia Labour Party or the Speaker of the United Workers' Party. I'm the Speaker of the House of Assembly.
For the DBS News World, Zane Romulus reported.
All right, thanks so much, Zane, for that report, which was filed last evening during the DBS News World. Now, the Speaker of the House turns out to be a very controversial individual in terms of his handling of that August body. And I think the jury is still out as to how people feel with regard to his performance in the chair. I mean, there's some people, especially if you're a supporter of the St. Lucia Labour Party, I think most of those people will tell you that he's doing a magnificent job. The florbos will tell you that he is performing at a subpar level, he's biased, etc. But there is one thing that we can be united about, and that is, without question, the best speaker we've ever had in the history of St. Lucia, Wilfred St. Clair Daniel, deceased Wilfred St. Clair Daniel, who passed away at the age of 90 in 2013.
The basis of having a shadow cabinet is for persons to speak to what is said to be the portfolios which they are shadowing. The basis of having a shadow cabinet is for persons to speak to what is said to be the portfolios which they are shadowing.
St. Lucia's best speaker, beyond a shadow of a doubt, Wilfred St. Clair Daniel. So, let us hear now from the leader of the parliamentary opposition, Mr. Alan Shaston, because in the aftermath of that fiasco in the House of Assembly earlier this week, he did issue a statement.
The continued efforts by the SLP administration to silence me in Parliament are not just an attack on me, but an attack on democracy and the right of the people of St. Lucia to hear the truth. As a leader of the opposition, I have a constitutional duty to hold this government accountable and to defend the best interest of the citizens. Yesterday's incident was yet another blatant attempt to suppress my voice. The Speaker of the House, acting in clear alignment with the government, ordered that my microphone be switched off and my audio cut so that the public would not hear my response to the false allegations being leveled against the former United Workers' Party administration. But no matter how hard they try to silence me, the truth will always come to light. Here are the facts. There are 3 separate agreements that all are interlinked relating to the Orange Grove Plaza Agreement, or as we know it, the Daher Mall. 1, there's a development agreement, which is the main agreement. There is the lease agreement, and then there is the transfer of land agreement. The Speaker of the House and the representative for Castries Central only made reference to the land transfer agreement. Yet the land transfer agreement makes reference to the development agreement, which is the main document. In 2012, the government of St. Lucia, under the then SLP administration, paid off the loan to the bank of $35 million EC dollars. That loan was made up of approximately $32 million for the asset and $3 million for interest payments that had occurred. The $30 million included an additional 10 acres of land as part of the deal, which was located in Union. In 2020, under my administration, the government entered into an agreement with Orange Grove Plaza to develop the property through Amazoma Properties, a government-formed company. Under this build, own, lease, transfer, or BOLT arrangement, the developer paid $13.5 million EC dollars up front, which represented the payment for the ground floor. The developer then assumed responsibility for the full renovation of the building, including the upper 2 floors. This arrangement is no different to other similar BOLT arrangements entered into by the government of St. Lucia. Examples include the Ministry of Infrastructure building at Union and several police stations and fire stations across the island, and the Halls of Justice project, just to name a few. The government agreed to temporarily transfer the building and the land to the developer to allow them to fully develop the property. The government would then lease the 2 top floors from the developer for 15 years at just $4 per square foot. That $4 represented the cost for the retrofitting of the building and the office space, or the government's portion of the building and office space. After which the 2 floors would be transferred back to full government ownership. Upon this final transfer back to the government, we would no longer have to pay a monthly lease. This agreement would have saved taxpayers approximately $40 million in rent over the first 15 years, and would further save the government at least $6 million annually after the period. This was a responsible, forward-thinking investment that prioritized long-term savings for the people of St. Lucia. Savings that could have been used to improve healthcare, fight crime, fix roads, and ease the cost of living. Instead, the SLP administration has abandoned the agreement, leaving the space vacant and unused for the last 3 years, while at the same time paying exorbitant rent to their financiers at rates between $7 and $12 per square foot. We've even heard that the Halls of Justice was supposed to go as high as $16 a square foot. They've wasted $12 million over the last 3 years for a space that they have refused to move into. This is a blatant financial mismanagement and political corruption. They do not want to know the truth. But let me be clear, I will not be silenced. No amount of censorship, intimidation, or manipulation will stop me from standing up for the people of St. Lucia. The SLP's tactics will not work. The people of St. Lucia deserve accountability. The government must answer, why are they wasting taxpayers' money on inflated rental agreements while keeping a cost-saving government asset unused? What are they trying to hide? I remain committed to exposing the truth and fighting for the best interest of St. Lucians. No microphone switch, no audio cut, and no parliamentary games will stop me from doing my job. Thank you.
The leader of the parliamentary opposition, Mr. Alan Shastney, issued a statement earlier today with regard to the chaos which occurred in the island's House of Assembly earlier on this week. We have a call in line via WhatsApp, and it is Rick Wayne. Good afternoon to you, sir. You are on the air. You are calling your favorite show.
Tim, I'm sometimes, you still had to laugh or cry, really. I'm having problems starting off, Tim, because you know who I'm going to be addressing. You listen to Claudius this time, not the speaker, going on the different media to explain. I don't know what you're trying to explain because we all saw what happened. And words like deluded, stupid, they are close meanings, but they're not quite the same, Not quite the same. Stupid is lacking in intelligence. Delude, it means evading certain facts, fooling yourself. Misleading, all these words are suggest themselves. And I leave it to our listeners to determine which one would not describe Claudius, but would be applied to what he's trying to do there. I'm not describing Claudius when I say that. In the first place, Tim, litigate has a particular meaning. I want to impress that. Litigate is used only in the only definition of nuance and everything. It has to do with court processes, law. The courts, I said, litigate. And when you use litigate more than once in a sentence with words like judge, the judge, when there is, in fact, the particular word that describes you in the standing orders. The standing orders defines the position that Claudius holds as Speaker of the House. And it ties him up to a certain kind of, his main job is to maintain conduct, the conduct of the House. You would think that he would understand that to mean to avoid anything likely to trigger off things, no?
Yes.
And when you have a House that is some 16 people who are known enemies, I repeat myself, of the leader of the opposition. And for all I know, the leader of the opposition holds them in the same way now. So let's say they hate each other. Would that be fair?
I think so.
They hate each other. And you're going to tell him you are the judge in a matter that you consider has already been litigated. How can you equate that with people who judge a bodybuilding contest or a poet or a debate or anything like that? And even there, people are very careful to use words like moderator and referee and so on. People are careful in their use of words. People who are careful in their use of words choose those words. I would think that Claudius would be put, and he's a what guy, Don't let me create an impression that he's stupid. He's not. Okay. But what Claudius finds himself doing is misleading people. And I think that's calculated. So that's not a stupid man. It's meant. And why do I say that? So that I'm not misconstrued? Because he has already told us what he is about. I am for my party. Anybody who attacks my party, dwarf or giant, I will hit back. I will not think because you're a dwarf, hit you with a catapult. I will hit you with the same bazooka. What do you call those things that in the war, man? Anyway, bazooka is not a toy, okay? I will, and again, we're not on a field, but we understand what it means. Anybody, I'm being kind here, by the way. I'm trying to say he did not mean violence. I'm trying to say he was speaking metaphorically. So anybody who is speaking against my party, I will defend my party, and I don't care who he is, whether he's a dwarf or whether he's a giant. I will use the same bazooka on them. But speaking metaphorically, Alan Shastner's job is to represent the opposite view of thousands of people in St. Lucia to the view supported by the government side or presented by the government side. It is the duty. Alan Shastner is required in the name of the thousands of people who elected him and found himself in the position of leader of opposition to oppose as strongly as he can what is being offered by the government side. Because when the government passes a law, and let's not forget the number of laws, 361 was one. There was a lot of trouble also about what is called the divorce law. There was trouble over the no bail law.
And
So
the abortion bill as well,
because
right? The abortion bill as well. The abortion bill as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And these things have all kinds of repercussions as well in a society. Causes a lot of trouble in the society. Causes hatred in the society. So when you are in a position such as, that is why in other countries, you have to meet certain requirements before you are landed a job like Speaker. To the best of my knowledge, Claudius was chosen to be Speaker of the House in circumstances that don't suggest there was any kind of background check or compare with somebody else or there were other candidates. Nothing like that. And I don't choose to go into it, though I know it. Okay? We heard him talking and when he was in the Senate as well, that the thinking that goes into this. So when he uses words, he has to be more careful in that and don't come out and try to mislead. Litigate in the circumstances he used them suggested nothing more than a judge of the court. And Alan Shastner was saying to him, you are not a judge here. And he said, yes, I am. He could just as easily have said, I am the Speaker of the House here, and this rule says so and so and so, and under that rule, I now order you to take your seat. No problem with that. When you say this has already been litigated and will not be re-litigated, and you're doing exactly that, that sounds stupid. Or that sounds provocative. It's like a judge in a court who has already passed a verdict and then decides to call back the claimant and the other guy and is retrying it. That makes sense to you?
No, it doesn't.
If the House has already dealt with something, why and the rules state once it's done is done. Why are you bringing that back? Do you want to make somebody look bad? Is that what your purpose is? Do you want to insult somebody? Do you want to provoke somebody? And then you say, I have litigated this, that we've litigated this, and I will do it, though I shouldn't be doing it. And you said you're not a judge, and then you insist you're a judge, and then you come back and say Rick Wayne knows exactly what judge means. Of course Rick Wayne knows what judge means in all its nuances. And as used by Claudius, it means a judge of a court. That he's sitting there like he's sitting in court. And Alan Shastner is a witness in the court or worse.
Because I think at issue there is the standing orders. Nothing to do with the law. It's the standing orders, and he's there to ensure that the members of the House adhere to the rules that form the standing orders.
As a matter of fact, Mays, which is the Bible of the whole thing, suggests you have to be very, very careful as a speaker. And the best way, really, is to avoid it, as a speaker, to make rulings based on law or your notion of law. Peter Foster was very clever. Peter Foster knew exactly what Guy was trying to do, just as Guy knew exactly what Peter Foster was trying to do, and they had a moment of levity. That's why when Guy said to him, "Since when that's your role?" Peter Foster let that fly, because what Guy was saying to him is, "Are you debating me, Mr. Speaker? Since when is your role to explain to me what is contract law?" Because that is not his role. That is for the members who are there to bring points up, etc., 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 to him. That's not for the Speaker's role. So Peter Foster, who I think was probably the best, because when you examine Sinclair Daniel, he had a few carbuncles that most people don't know of. So I, on a personal level, would put Peter Foster as the speaker I personally enjoyed most at the House. Curtis is going to go down as the biggest clown to have sat in that speaker's chair and trying to explain himself out of the confusion he created. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. And people have been making some observations in the chat room with regard to a comment that was made a few years ago by Mr. Claudius Francis, not in his capacity as a Speaker of the House, but in his capacity as a talk show host.
But that kind of reticence on the part of Labour Party supporters. Fight back! Fight fire with fire! You see me right now? I taking them on head on now. No more Mr. Nice Guy. You want to interfere with me? And I keep telling you, I don't care. When I'm fighting, if my opponent is a dwarf or a giant, I'm fighting with all the ammunition at my disposal. All. I ain't saying, well, because it's a dwarf, let me use a catapult, and because it's a giant, I'm going to use a bazooka. Dwarf to giant, getting bazooka. Because you do not deal with you ever a big gun spraying big gun to knock out mosquitoes? No. Get rid of them completely. Move the mosquitoes. Irritants.
Memorable bazooka statement made in his capacity as a talk show host, Claudius Francis. Which takes me to our question of the day, the NewsSpin question of the day. What will it take for order to be brought to the House? What will it take for order to be brought to the House? My attention now is turned to Amanda. Let's find out what's happening in the chat room.
A comment here reads, Claudius, no matter what you say in defense, you are wrong, very wrong. Your stance in the House was despicable and shameful. The world was watching. Another comment, Timothy, you know for a fact Shas is playing spoiled child politics. Another comment reads, Claudius, the fact is you are very biased in your decision making. You can talk until tomorrow and you will not change the public perception of your behavior. Another comment reads, that is exactly my point, Rick. You said it perfectly. Alan is doing his job. He has to debate and they refuse to make him speak, making it look like he's up to mischief and bad behavior. They do not want Alan to speak, and that's all it is to ridicule him. Another comment, it reads, his job is to ensure that actions and decisions taken by the government are constitutional and in keeping the standing orders, not to oppose without merit everything brought forward. A few comments from earlier. Someone says here, want to have a big celebration, that's all they care about, party time instead of putting things in place. Someone says here, so all of a sudden the shelter needs renovations. The comment reads, and it is so distasteful to see, because people who support SLP or like Richard Frederick see nothing wrong with these disgusting comments made. Someone says there, that's the problem with politics, too many politicians who do not know what the people need. Someone says here, while it's beyond human expression of disgust and insult to us that none of the people in opposition do not take the stand they are supposed to take. I think that the gangsters of politicians we have in power are the ones threatening and preventing them from doing anything at all. Someone says, Eric Caller, when you hear of persons making disgusting political comments, some people are not looking at the comment as disgusting unless it's not in their political party favor. In other words, when you hear some people quiet on criminal activities, poor healthcare and road conditions, just know that their political party is in government. And when you're hearing their voices on these very same issues, just know that their political party is in opposition. And that's it for now.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Still to come on the broadcast. Well, stray cows are still lining the streets at Shock. This is the most monitored talk show in the world.
St. Lucia, the moment you've been waiting for is almost here. Join the United Workers' Party for an electrifying national public meeting happening this Sunday, March 2nd, 2025 from 6 p.m. at Level Grounds in Lackey Dennery. It's going to be a night of energy, passion, and big announcements that will shape the future of our nation. We have not one, not two, but 5 exciting announcements lined up just for you. This is your chance to hear from the leaders who will shape our future. Be part of the positive change. Stand up for a better St. Lucia. The United Workers' Party is ready to lead the way, and we want you with us. Bring your family, bring your friends, wear something yellow. See you on Sunday.
Bravo on High Street in Castries is having a massive clearance sale. Prices have been slashed by so much, it's ridiculous. We're talking 30 to 60% off on electrical and plumbing from now until stocks last. Yes, that means you. Whether it's a do-it-yourself fixer-upper or a full household project, come in and save big with Bravo. There's never been a better time to come down to Bravo for savings on electrical and plumbing. See you there. Sale on until stocks last. We're located next to the courthouse and electoral office.
Blue Select is transforming how you move. With our new electric vehicle charging stations, getting a quick and reliable charge is easier than ever. From Rodney Bay to Dennery, Vieux-Fort and Soufriere, we've got you covered. Our cutting-edge network offers both fast and standard charging options. Convenient, efficient, and always ready when you are. Just download the Flash Charge app from Google Play or the Apple App Store, and with a few simple taps, you can set up an account and link it to a credit card. Find a station or scan the QR code to start charging in seconds. Lucidac is powering your journey and driving us toward a cleaner, greener future. Charge ahead with Lucidac's EV stations. Lucidac electric vehicle chargers, powering progress, energizing the future.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, in 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So what are you waiting for? This ad still has 2 seconds left, and you could have already gone paperless.
St. Lucia, it's time to celebrate 46 years of independence with a big deal from KFC. Introducing the KFC Independence Big Box, packed with all your favorites for just $46. You get 5 delicious undipped wings with 1 sauce, 1 zinger or big crunch sandwich, 2 pieces of chicken, 2 regular fries, and 2 refreshing 16-ounce sodas. Perfect for sharing or keeping all to yourself, because independence is all about choice. But hurry, this big deal is only available from February 1st to February 28th. Get your Independence Big Box today, only at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Are you tired of going from doctor to doctor, spending time and money, yet still not getting the answers you need? Now, at La Clinique du Corps Diagnostic Center of Excellence, we bring you the latest in medical technology, our state-of-the-art radiation-free full-body MRI. With unmatched accuracy, we can detect illnesses early, giving you the answers you deserve and the treatment you need, saving lives and saving money. No doctor referral needed. Results in just 24 to 48 hours. Plus, a free consultation with a doctor to explain all your results in detail. Don't wait. Take advantage of this special offer and book your full body MRI at our Cocoville, Rodney Bay, or Castries locations. Call 451-6559 now. La Clinique du Corps. Your health is our priority.
Watch this view here. If you missed it, yeah, itchy nose.
The St. Lucia National Cricket Association Prime Minister's Cup is back. It's going down on 4 venues: PI, Philip Masler Grounds, Groseley, and Mindu Philip Park. Games will be played both day and night. Will the champions Groseley defend their title, or will we see a newly crowned champion this year? Teams taking part: last year's champion Groseley, runners-up Central Castries, South Castries, Babano, Monrepo, Mikud, Soufre, Viewfort North, Viewfort South, Denry, Choiseul, Babia Valley, and Deriso. This tournament bowls off on February 18th with defending champions Groseley coming up against Babano at 7 p.m. on the Groseley playing field. Games will be played from 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m. Come out and support your favorite team. It's the St. Lucia National Cricket Association Prime Minister's Cup, coming to a venue near you. Who's gonna emerge champions this year?
Get ready for the all-in independent sale at MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt. Enjoy 25% off store-wide on small appliances, housewares, tools, and so much more. Plus, don't miss out on our amazing doorbuster deals from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's the perfect time to save on your favorite brands. But hurry, these deals won't last long. Visit us at MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt, island-wide from February 27th to March 2nd for the all-in independent sale event. Terms and conditions may apply. See online or in-store for more.
The best of the best from the Caribbean are coming to St. Lucia for the AMBC Caribbean Boxing Championships. February 28th to March 2nd. Come see the region's finest youth, amateur, and elite boxers in action at the Boseju Indoor Facility under the theme Stronger Together. 8 countries, over 100 boxers, punches in bunches. Who will reign supreme? Come support Team St. Lucia at the AMBC Caribbean Boxing Championships from February 28th to March 2nd at the Boseju Indoor Facility from 7 p.m. nightly. Admission only $20. This event is sponsored by the National Lotteries Authority, Ministry of Youth Development and Sport, and the Government of St. Lucia. This one will be a knockout.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Time now for a WhatsApp message. I'll read it verbatim. It reads, roads, roads, roads. I'm frustrated with the government. King and Kenson, can you all come together? Fool the potholes by the stadium. Kaimanger after Bradford Tree Restaurant. Larry Twet after the bridge next to the small bakery. Come on, man. Vehicle sticker fees. Make it work, brothers. Make it work. Hour, hour, hour. What's in the chat room, Amanda?
A few comments read, Claudius, no matter what you say. Okay, I read that already. Bear with me. Another comment, you can only have an orderly house if you have orderly people in the house. These guys are just promoting ghetto in government houses, disturbing each other like you on a roadside debate. Another comment, when Guy was minister and he made mention of implementing laws to regulate such activities such as cows on the roads, making charcoal in residential areas, the SLP and the Zelevs made a sound and danced about it, and you guys followed with the noise. Take what you'll get. That's it for now.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Statement in his capacity as a talk show host. However, when he made the statement, he was ready to speak of the House, and worse yet is that his statement was made on the eve of a sitting of the House. Claudius cannot separate his function as Speaker from talk show host. Any statements made by him will reflect upon his role as Speaker, even if made while sitting on a talk show. He simply cannot distance himself or his office from those insightful statements by virtue of being on a talk show. The same goes for Richard Frederick. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message to go through. Let's see there. Somebody says, Tim, other people who want to call too. And another WhatsApp message. I recommend that the media speak with the staff of the Women's Center to understand the situation that Mrs. Poyer does not want us to know. Also, if you want a decent, disciplined House of Assembly, you must have decent, disciplined people in there. Currently, what we have is just not cutting it. In a moment, we'll take 2 more calls and then we'll conclude our broadcast. First, video to share with you. Somebody sent me 2 videos via WhatsApp. Cattle again along the Shock Road. That is in the island's north, of course, and we've been speaking about this for a very long time now. And there's every indication that it will continue unabated and nothing will be done about this particular situation. Because if you heard from the Agriculture Minister just a few days ago, saying that the attempts are being made to provide the owner or the owners of the cattle that are on that section of road in the island's north to find a location where the cattle can be allowed to graze, etc. That attempt is being made with limited success. So in the meantime, what you're seeing there via Facebook and via YouTube, rest assured, it will continue. The authorities will not put an end to this issue. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello.
Yeah, Timothy, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Timothy.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Yeah, and good afternoon to Miss Amani or
Amanda.
Okay.
Good afternoon, caller.
Amanda, okay. Timothy, Claudius Francis will never change. Call a spade a spade. Me say, by Charge. And I hear me talking there like he's a priest. He got from day one, the man attacking Chasney. Everybody on Chasney head in the house, Gassa. The man can't make his speech. Them fellas, that one talking, that one laughing, that one talking. So the man have to stand up and talk to. Whether he'll put off the mic or not, you have to stand up and talk because that's if the man talking the truth. Let the man talk. And then you'll go come if you're the truth. You'll send people downstairs. You're reading half of the thing, you're reading the whole thing. Let people know all the agreement that go down. Claudius Francis, boy, I don't know what's wrong with that gentleman. Mostly address the Beyonce because Mavli so man. That man just not good. And that man lying. And that man separating the country. And that's not the first time I seen that. That man separating the country. He may talking about the not labor. He equal right to man Edibalia. Equal met. That makes a galbo happening. Claudius Francis, you see there. No, it's a galbo happening when you have a lot of gal and you can't eat it. So that man is it. You must be good afternoon, guys.
Thank you so much, caller. You know, sometimes you want to be real professional, don't want to laugh, but I couldn't help it this time around. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Let's see there. If we have a WhatsApp message to go through, what's somebody saying there? Let me see there. Okay, I read that already. Let's see if we have another comment. Somebody said there via WhatsApp, Tim, I need some cows to type on the Laguerre playing field, to tie on the Laguerre playing field. Shame on the minister. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Yes, good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon, Amanda.
Good afternoon, caller.
I'm a bit...
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm a bit off topic today, but we have a little... Well, I'm trying to get ahead of the situation in Babono, Kako area, you know. And, you know, when there's a water problem, you know, they always close the dam from Millet to Cap Estate, you know, but there is still water in Millet, you know. So I would like Wasco to collect the water from Millet and bring it to the north, you know, stop taking the water from the Kako plant, you know. Because when the water is exhausted in the Kako plant, there is no way for us to get water. We have to wait for it to rain for us to get water, you know. And when they take water from the Kako plant, all the water is on the road. A lot of water is wasting. And, you know, we have our farms and stuff. And, you know, we have to feed the nation, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say today, you know.
Well, Cole, I hope that WASCO will take your concerns seriously and will attend to that particular problem.
Yes, sir.
That's all I could say, sir. All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for calling. We'll take one final call. So if you catch, you can call right now. Final call at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. And let's see there. We have a final call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Loud and clear. Good afternoon to you, caller.
I believe Claudius Francis needs a proper valuation. Because last year he was sick and stuff like that, and you know, and everybody was sympathizing with him, make sure he get well. And for you to be attacking the political leader, okay? I mean, the man in opposition, he has to defend the people of St. Lucia if things are wrong. And there was nothing wrong in what Shafney did. And, you know, just to make it a little faster, switching up the man's mic, and Rick couldn't even, Rick said it the right way. And Rick sung like he's not even the age that people think he is. He's singing like a little 20 young man. But the problem now, Tim, this government has failed the people, they need to go. And first and foremost, I feel KKRR could be a good Speaker of the House. KKRR could be a good Speaker of the House. Because these guys have lost it. They have lied to St. Lucian. And they have, right now the country, I don't know where it's heading. We need a soulagement. Philip JPA, bring down the price of gas. Take out the two. That is affecting the entire nation. And right now, Tim, I am very, very, very frustrated. Can he say he's frustrated? If he's frustrated, why he stepped down in the St. Lucia Labour Party government? Why he's still there and coming and he's making all the comments that he's making? Because Philip JPA does not have what it takes to be leader and to be prime minister. But I am blaming St. Lucians because all of us are clown. Well, I'm not a clown. Most of the people that vote Kenny Anthony are clowns. Because they're going to put a man there, and right now, they're in shit street and they cannot bail out. But Tim, in the interest of time, I will call next week. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for calling. Finally, our NewsSpin news of the day. The NewsSpin news of the day reads, Trump on calling Zelensky a dictator. Quote, did I say that? I can't believe I said that. Our NewsSpin news of the day once again, Trump on calling Zelensky a dictator. Quote, did I say that? I can't believe I said that. End of quote. That's a broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show, NewsSpin. My name is Timothy Poleon. Enjoy your weekend, and God willing, we'll be back on Monday afternoon, 12:30. Goodbye.